Hello everyone, I wanted to go ahead and do another one of these big special collection videos, one of these that have a favorite actor or director or series or something. I've been doing collection videos for ones that I am complete with, where I have what I want for that individual, and this time we are taking a look at one of the greatest directors of all time, Alfred Hitchcock, my collection for that director. I'll save some of my absolute favorite movies of his a little bit closer to the end and get through some of the other stuff right now. Hitchcock, it depends on what kind of a fan you are of him too, whether or not you enjoy more of his older stuff or more of his Hollywood period when he started directing more in America. I'm much more the latter. I like some of his older stuff going back to the silent era, but it's never had quite the same impact, and probably because it's what I was exposed to later in life. The things I was exposed to first were more of his more household name American movies that I think are still a little more remembered by people that aren't quite as into film already. You know, they're just kind of general recognized names, things like Psycho, North by Northwest, whatever. And those are more my favorites. But some of his films before then I do really enjoy. I have a decent little collection here that I actually like from Mill Creek, and a lot of them are public domain. That's how Mill Creek gets a hold of them, but it's a really good collection of a lot of those films that I enjoy, but they aren't my absolute favorites, and they're decent picture quality depending on the film. It varies by film, but this 20 film collection, it's nice to have all in one set here, one pack, 20 of his earlier films. Really good here. It doesn't go the whole way back, but we do have The Lady Vanishes, which is one of my favorites on here. We have The Farmer's Wife, Alfred Hitchcock Presents. So we have two episodes of that on here, and I do have a season of that on DVD as well. Definitely a good show, and I think it shows his humor more than anything, and as enjoyable as that is, I've never really liked it as much as his real like movies. Good show though. Rich and Strange, The 39 Steps, Secret Agent, Champagne, Blackmail, Easy Virtue, Jamaica Inn, The Lodger, The Ring, Young and Innocent, Sabotage, The Skin Game, Number 17, and the original, The Man Who Knew Too Much. Really good film, and Peter Lorre gives a good performance in that, but I have always preferred the remake that he did himself with James Stewart and Doris Day of The Man Who Knew Too Much. I've always found this to be more exciting, a little bit more riveting picture. I just always enjoyed this one more. The original one I like in its own right. Maybe it's because I watched this one first again that I like this one more, but I've just always preferred this one. And this is a decent DVD release that has the making of A Man Who Knew Too Much, some trailers, production photographs, and a few more things. So a decent number of extras on here. So I do like that release. And on DVD we have Alfred Hitchcock's Dial M for Murder, an adaptation of a popular play that is directed in a style that it's more reminiscent of a play. It takes almost entirely within one apartment, almost completely, and it's just done so beautifully. I love that presentation. I love the style that he went with. This is a good release with some extra features. It has a documentary about the movie and a brief history about 3D, because this movie was presented in its original run in many theaters as a 3D version, and you can get that on Blu-ray. Never really cared for it. I always thought it was an unnecessary, gimmicky addition. It didn't do anything for me. I never thought it added anything to it, so I just went with the regular edition. That's what I prefer to watch. It's 3D. It depends on what it's used for, whether it's something gimmicky or whether it's something enhancing or whether it's just something that's a different experience. And both movies are fun to watch. You know, the movie's fun to watch both ways. It was always just a throwaway gimmick thing for this movie. Otherwise, a great murder mystery, amazing performances. Overall, I've always really enjoyed Dial M for Murder. Just a great film. Notorious, which I had not seen for a long time, and then I happened to stumble upon a copy at some point. I forget what even format it was on, but I saw that it was Ingrid Bergman and Cary Grant. I'm like, I gotta see that. And then I eventually picked up this release on Laserdisc, and the two of them really carry this movie for me. Overall, this is one of my least favorite of the ones that some more actors I'm more familiar with are in, but I think the two leads are really what carry the picture for me and make it rewatchable. And then on CED, I have Spellbound. Next we have The Birds on Laserdisc. And The Birds I always thought worked well because the build-up was done so well. Like I was enjoying the movie already before it really got to that point. To really, he's known as the master of suspense, Hitchcock, and it comes in different forms. Sometimes you have more high anxiety, stressful suspense. Sometimes you have more frightening suspense, and other times it's more just it lingers and holds and goes over something very different before getting into a more suspenseful or terrifying situation. And I think it holds off so well in this one. And there's also a bunch of trailers in this collection, which is pretty cool. This release was the series with the silhouette in the background was done on just about every format you can think of back in the day. They're all just decent additions, and this one has trailers for a whole bunch of different Hitchcock movies, so this is a cool addition to have, a great copy. I also have that on DVD, The Birds, with a whole bunch of bonus features again. That's one thing that is always enjoyable, that I always want to try and grab if I can with Hitchcock, is some version that is quality, that has a bunch of special features, because there's always something fascinating about either the making of, or many of them are focusing on the movie as like a legacy piece, how it was how it was presented in the day, and over time, over decades, especially in later editions, what effect it has had, either on just the general population or as far as like filmmakers are concerned. There's always just an interesting look at the legacy of these films in many of the behind the scenes making of or documentaries about them. So that's a good one here. And we have To Catch a Thief, which, as I said before, when I saw Cary Grant in another movie, I'm like, I gotta see that. He's one of my favorite actors. And this is just a perfect combination because you have Cary Grant and Grace Kelly, who is like the ultimate Hitchcock actress. I mean, I really think that it's like a combination of Cary Grant and James Stewart are the ultimate Hitchcock male leads, and then Grace Kelly is definitely the ultimate Hitchcock like female lead, actors that just really shone through under his direction in his movies. To Catch a Thief, my original VHS copy here. And then this edition, which I love, there's so much cool stuff on here. Alfred Hitchcock's To Catch a Thief. The special collector's edition is a 2-disc set on DVD and has a bunch of different special features. There's a commentary on disc 1 with a Hitchcock film historian. And then disc 2 just has a crazy number of extras, an entire second disc of all kinds of documentaries, trailers. Another one, like To Catch a Thief and Appreciation, making of, so all that kind of stuff I was talking about before with Hitchcock stuff. On that second disc, there's so much to enjoy here. Many of these are movies that they get better with age and they get better with repeat viewings. One in particular I'll talk about in a little bit here. That's very true for me personally. With there's so much more to notice, and with each viewing the first time, it's just, especially with some of the better ones, you experience it the first time. You just go for a ride, and then you rewatch them and just pick up on all these little things as you're going through again, and then you get all these extra features and why they're so great, because it makes you want to rewatch it again with a whole new appreciation, a whole new viewing, a whole new understanding of the film. So it's really cool when you get a lot of extra features on there. And now moving into my favorite movies of his. These are all just fantastic movies. They're all movies, again, that I own because I'm going to rewatch them. To Catch a Thief, love that. But now we're moving into my top movies of his. The next two are pretty much tied at third place. So third and fourth, they're both tied at third place. My top two are my favorite. Have always been my favorites. They will always be my favorites. But these next two, one was always my third favorite, but one has grown on me with age. One that was always a favorite of mine, which is again that one that's kind of tied for third here, is Vertigo. I have this newer Blu-ray edition here. Amazing film and such a mesmerizing presentation. I mean, this is one that I think, again, as I talked about how many of these better ones, it's more of just an experience that first time. You rewatch them and just notice so much more and have a different experience in repeat viewings. This, I think, more than any other, is just one that will suck you in the first time you watch it, and it'll absolutely blow you away. It is one that I think is by far one of the best films he's ever done. It's one of the best films ever made. It's absolutely brilliant, and it's something so different from many of the other favorites of mine that is just such a fantastic film that if you don't know what to expect getting into it, I think this more than any other, if you don't know what you're getting into, it really will knock your socks off. The great film, Vertigo, and a decent release here, some extra bonus features, Obsessed with Vertigo, Partners in Crime, bunch of different archives, foreign censorship endings, so different versions, looks at different versions here, not full versions, but looks at them. So really good Blu-ray release, but my favorite copy of that movie that I have is this signature collection on Laserdisc. Great. I really enjoy this. When I got this, it was the first time I had seen this movie in a long time, so it was great to re-experience it on Blu-ray. And this, of course, comes with commentary, and it includes the same Obsessed with Vertigo, A New Life for Hitchcock's masterpiece, as the Blu-ray, because there have been different restoration efforts of this movie over time, and it's a great look at archives, all kinds of stuff. Most of the special features that are included in this Blu-ray are actually originally from this release, the Signature Collection Laserdisc. So the Blu-ray really, in many ways, is really just kind of the Laserdisc version as far as the extras are concerned, and then it has a cool gatefold. But I really love this release, fantastic. This is definitely my favorite copy overall, though, even over the Blu-ray. I really enjoy it sound-wise. I think it outshines the Blu-ray. Visually, there are hit and miss between the two. In some ways, the Blu-ray is superior. In other ways, the Laserdisc it's equal or slightly better. In some ways, it's just a little bit of a different experience between the two. Both great, but I really enjoy that Signature Collection Laserdisc. So that was always one of my favorite Hitchcock films, and there's one now that over time has kind of tied it in my mind, might even be a favorite over it. This has changed more in my appreciation and enjoyment of it over the years than any other film of his, and that is Rear Window. Rear Window, I remember watching and enjoying, but for some reason, I don't know why, that whenever I watch it for the first time, many years ago at this point, it didn't have quite that initial impact for me for some reason. Maybe it was circumstances under which I saw it, whatever. I just had this vague memory of it, and till I rewatched it, and that second time, many years later, is when it really had that impact on me, and I really was drawn in, and I absolutely love it, and I think I've rewatched it more than just about any, except my favorite, over the past maybe 10 years or so than the other ones. Rear Window, I don't know, something about it has really grown on me over time, and I love the setting of this. I really, for some reason, that second viewing, maybe I wasn't paying close attention the first time or whatever, but the second time, I got absorbed and obsessed with looking at and exploring this little world that was created outside that window. I just, for some reason, got really into all the little details of all the different little characters and their lives. Something drew me in that second time, and it really had the impact that it should have had that first time, that it was supposed to have. This is a decent Blu-ray release here with, again, a bunch of bonus features, documentaries, all kinds of stuff, which is well worth grabbing. That's what I want on a Hitchcock release, is a bunch of bonus features looking at these films. And Rear Window is just, it's brilliant, and I don't know why the first time I saw it, it didn't have that impact. But over time, it's become one of my 3 favorites. It's just fantastic, this nice Blu-ray release here. And rounding out the collection for that, that Silhouette collection here, I said, was released on a lot of formats. And I have the CED release, the Laserdisc version, and recently picked up the VHS release. These are all of the Hitchcock Silhouette release. So really enjoy that. Great little collection there, and then of course the standout Blu-ray release for that. So just a brilliant movie, fantastic. Moving on to the top two that have always been my top two every time I saw them. The first Hitchcock film I ever saw was, saw it on TV late at night one time, knew about it, had heard about it. I was still a kid. I can't remember how old I was, but it was like elementary to middle school age. I don't want to say like upper elementary school age. And it really shocked me because, again, I knew about it and I knew about the shower scene, but I hadn't seen it. I didn't really know that much about it. I just kind of knew what the name was and who Alfred Hitchcock was, and I knew about that one scene. That was it. So I just really was drawn in and went for a ride with this the first time I saw it. I found it to be unbelievably engrossing and terrifying, and it has stuck with me forever. Really, I think I was young enough that it just shocked me. It really was not something I'd ever seen before, and that was the first film, again, Hitchcock film I'd ever seen before. At that age, I was maybe, like 11, 12 years old at most. Loved it, and I've never stopped loving it because of that first experience I had with it, just sticking in my mind forever. So this is a cool DVD release, the Bates Motel cover here with a bunch of different bonus features, and the corresponding Blu-ray release. These are the same release, one on DVD, one on Blu-ray, and then this different pop art cover release on Blu-ray of Psycho. I really think that's cool. Something different stands out. So really good. This is overall my favorite release out of the three. But yeah, that's Psycho. Just incredible movie, timeless movie, fantastic. And then my absolute favorite is the one he directed right before this, that I just rewatched last night, because I cannot get enough of this movie. I don't think I'll ever be tired of this film. I've seen it I don't know how many times, and I enjoy it every time. That is North by Northwest, and we'll start with this version here, this 2-disc. Sure, the back is different here, on CED. And this is actually one of the first two CEDs, along with the Muppet movie, that I ever owned, and is the first one that I ever watched. So that is my first experience with this format, was this movie. I watched this and then the Muppet movie, North by Northwest. Just such an incredible thrill ride from start to finish. It is amazing. Even Ray Saint is incredible, and Cary Grant, of course, is on top of his game. To me, that is just not only the ultimate Hitchcock movie, it's one of the best movies ever, and I will never be tired of it. I still find it to be exciting to watch from start to finish. Just an absolutely thrilling experience. There's great humor, there's fantastic suspense, romance, drama. Anything you could ask for from a movie is in that movie. It's iconic, it's brilliant, and it will live on forever. So that is the first copy actually I ever owned of the movie, is on CED, and first CED I watched. Then over time had different editions here, and part of this 5-film Warner Brothers thriller collection. It's kind of a weird collection, but this is my DVD copy of North by Northwest in this 5-film DVD collection here. Again, it's kind of a weird mix, not movies I would put together, but whatever. So that's my DVD copy there, and then eventually grabbed it on Blu-ray. Really fantastic copy. This is probably my favorite. Really good restoration, great special features. I mean, this is going to be my go-to copy forever. This is my favorite one, even over the Laserdisc, the deluxe letterbox edition. Very happy to have it on Laserdisc. Love the artwork on here. Great release, enjoyable, nice gatefold. I mean, as far as the physical copy, this is my favorite piece to have in the collection, but as far as the viewing experience, this is one of the few cases where I out and out prefer the Blu-ray over the Laserdisc. Usually I prefer the Laserdisc, or there are pluses and minuses in each direction. It depends on what I want from the picture, but yeah, as good as this release is, definitely for some reason the Blu-ray has really edged it out. But yeah, this, as far as the actual copy, the physical piece, this is easily my favorite. And then a recent pickup that this is the version I watched last night, this special edition. I love these, the rounded, completely enclosed clamshells for VHS. I really enjoy those. And it's actually a screener copy of the special edition. But I watched that, and it has a 40-minute documentary before the start of the feature film, which I thought was kind of weird. It should be the other way around, I would think, especially on a medium like VHS, which you have to fast forward through a 40-minute documentary if you want to watch the film first. I watched the documentary first and just start to finish, but I always thought that was weird. It should have been at the end of the tape. But anyway, so this is very long for a single tape release too. Again, pretty long for over 3 hours in total with the movie and the documentary. But this is a cool special edition screener tape release in this collector's edition VHS box set. So that is my favorite Hitchcock film of all time. Love it. And that is my collection for Hitchcock. I would love to hear what some of your favorite films of his are, what some of your first experiences are, and if you have any kind of like a video about Hitchcock movies, reviews, your own collection video, whatever, link it down below. Be sure to check it out. I would just love to hear all about your love of Alfred Hitchcock and what some of your favorite movies are, because these are mine, this is my collection, and I'm super, super happy with what I have put together over the years for this amazing, timeless, classic director, this creator of so many brilliant memories.